want to bring in New York Congressman Peter King. The congressman is a member of the House Homeland Security Committee. It's good to see you, Congressman. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Maria.
You heard the president's speech. What do you think?
Now, listen, the president's policy has failed. It's failed against ISIS. It's failed in Iraq. It's failed in Syria. It's failed in Afghanistan. And the president is critical because some Republicans, many Democrats too, say he should use the word Islamic Jihad or Islamic terrorism. What he has called ISIS is the JV. So that's how far off he's been. And actually now even Hillary Clinton is using the word Islamic Jihad or Islamic terrorism. The president in many ways is in denial. His policies have failed. And it's this apologetic tone that he's had and said now, as Donald Trump said, and I don't always agree with Donald Trump. I think his speech could have been more focused. Having said that, I just wish that the president did show publicly some of that anger or some of that intensity toward ISIS as he does toward Donald Trump and toward Republicans. And again, it seems when he's dealing with the enemy, the president goes out of his way to be calm, to be collected, which is fine in a way. But if you're going to show anger, also direct anger toward a vicious killer like ISIS, rather than in the past when he was calling them the JV.
Right. Congressman, I'm with the team here this morning, and we're all just talking about this speech. Diggan, I don't think I've ever seen the president that mad. He was really mad, and it seems like he was really mad at Donald Trump.
Mad at Donald Trump and really...
As opposed to the shooter.
Right, and angry at any American who takes issue with his lack of, with him refusing to use radical Islamic terrorism. And I'll ask the congressman about this, and this is something that Charles Krauthammer touched on yesterday on Fox News. When you talk about violent extremism, for the American people, you're not connecting the thread of all these attacks. We are under attack. President, tell us who's attacking us. Name that enemy. And by not talking about radical Islam, you don't name the enemy, Congressman.
Absolutely. Listen, there's always going to be random attacks. There's always going to be some types of terror. This is different. This is an army, an international movement against us. It's Islamist terrorism, and it is connected. And that's the point the president doesn't seem to want to grasp. Listen, many Americans made that mistake prior to 9/11. All of us, I thought, learned that lesson on September 11th, that we're talking about a very, very coordinated enemy. They may have diverse units. They may have some slight differences of degree among them. The fact is, this is Islamist terrorism, whether it's Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, ISIS, Boko Haram. We can go through all of them. This is Islamist terrorist international movement coming against us.
Congressman, what do we need to do now? I mean, we're learning this morning that Orlando was actually awarded no anti-terror grants from the Department of Homeland Security for the 2016 fiscal year. Will your committee look into this funding and how it should be better allocated?
Yeah, we will. Now, again, Jay Johnson, I think he's doing a good job as Homeland Security Secretary. There has been a lot of money sent to areas that don't deserve it. He's trying to cut back on that. And on the formulas they were using, Orlando was not in that top 25, I guess is the number. And so more money went to places like New York and Los Angeles, Port of Houston, areas that are more likely to be attacked. But obviously, it has to be re-looked at. But I don't think Homeland Security funding would have mattered here. Homeland Security funding is not overly effective against a lone wolf. Generally, the Homeland Security funding is in place like a coordinated, organized attack, such as we saw on 9/11.
I see. Morgan Ortegas is here. Go ahead, Morgan.
Congressman, one of the things that we're all concerned about is the FBI being overstretched, and they're severely affected by sequestration. I read that something like 6,000 agents and workers could be misplaced through sequestration. What can we do to get the FBI more funding so they can stay on top of people like this shooter?
Well, I do believe the FBI should get more funding. I also think that more use should be made of the local police. Now, I still haven't found out exactly how much coordination there was between the FBI and the local police in Orlando. I hope there was. I know there was not in Boston prior to the Boston Marathon, because the FBI, no matter how many agents they have, they're not equipped to carry out the type of street investigations the way local police are, with their detectives and with their sources and with their informers. So it may mean that even more money should go to local police, and that way they can coordinate with the FBI better. Again, Director Comey, I have a lot of respect for him, a lot of regard, and there's thousands of cases that are out there, and I think more has to be done with the local police to bring them into it. Again, maybe that happened in Orlando. We haven't seen the evidence of that yet.
Congressman, great to have you on the program as always. Thanks so much.
Maria, thank you.
We'll see you soon. Congressman Peter King joining us there.